He saw the messages, assumed I was hiding a relationship with a boyfriend, and proceeded to go through all of my phone's contents with not just himself, but with my mom and my brothers, seeing what's in my phone too. All the gallery photos, my social media, whatever he could find to see what else I'm hiding. What? Good morning, my sweet witches and warlocks. Sick and tired here. Today we are going to be reading some more viewer submissions. If you would like to send in your story of your narcissistic parents, your bad parents, your childhood trauma, or anything else you'd like to get off your chest, you can email me at samanthafisher1984@gmail.com and we will discuss. First of all, hi. Hi. I just stumbled upon your channel recently and already love it. Oh, stop it. It's nice to have a place to come together with others that went through the same things and understand how it feels. I'm completely fine with my story being shared on your channel. I apologize for how long and chaotic this will be. English isn't my first language, and I still have a hard time talking about this. I have some learning disabilities as well, so communicating, writing, explaining is all very hard for me. My name is Dante. I was born as the youngest of 8 kids. Oh, big family. But I only grew up with 2 of my siblings. The others were taken away before I was born and got adopted into other families. Oh boy, that's not good. Hopefully it was good for the children though. To this day, I'm confused as to why my mother was allowed to have more kids after this. My mother is honestly a complete mess. By the point I was born, she already had 7 kids from 4 different men. She always told us her dream was to have 11 children. But after me, she had to get a hysterectomy and she resented me a lot for that. 11 children, just anybody, whether they're a good parent or not, if somebody just was like, yeah, I want 11 kids, I'd be like, oh, okay. My life was quite honestly hell. I was neglected right from the start. I was expected to take care of myself, to just know how to do everything without being taught anything. And if I failed, I was called stupid. I walked myself to kindergarten and back, and this continued when I got into school. My parents were focused on my older brother. He has ADHD and caused a lot of trouble. He was aggressive and would often hurt me. He even strangled me. But of course, my parents did nothing. They didn't care. I wasn't allowed to complain, to cry, to show any emotion. My parents taught me exactly one thing, and that's that my existence is a mistake. When I was 12, my parents divorced because my mother cheated. That was the first time I really realized just how insane she is. My father is a lot younger than my mother. She was his first girlfriend, and he married her immediately. She was the love of his life, and he worked his ass off to provide for her, and she threw it all away for a new guy. My father got a new girlfriend after a while, and my mother went completely crazy. She was furious. She stalked both of them for years and kept ranting to me about how horrible my father is, how he is a cheater that ruined our family. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Your mom cheated and then is mad at your dad because if you were the one that broke that trust in the marriage first, you don't really have much of a leg to stand on. We moved far away after they separated, and my mother's behavior got worse. Her boyfriend is a complete asshole that ignored her most of the time, and she would, of course, let her anger out on me. At this point, my brother was put into a home for children with ADHD, and my older sister was an adult, so she was working or out with friends most of the time, leaving me as the only person for my mother to focus all her anger on. Every weekend, I saw my mother stand at the window, staring outside for hours, waiting for her trash boyfriend to arrive. She started drinking and self-harming, and of course, all of it was my fault. My sister got into a lot of fights with her as well, mainly because my mother saw her as competition. She even called her a cheap whore after her trash boyfriend looked at my sister's butt. This is gonna sound totally random, but it just reminded me of it. You guys ever seen the movie Precious, where the poor little girl is getting, assaulted by her father, and the mother at the end is bawling and crying? But she's not crying for her daughter. She's crying because she said, that bitch is trying to take my man. Oh my gosh. Like, you think it's crazy? There's no way that something like that exists or that could never happen. This channel right here has proved that it actually happens a lot. A lot of mothers, for some reason, compete with their own daughters instead of holding their husbands or their boyfriends responsible for their actions. The whole situation escalated on New Year's Eve of that year. My mother got drunk again and started fighting with her boyfriend. After that, she went on the balcony. I checked on her and she suddenly said to me,
"Go inside and ask him if I should kill myself right now."
I went inside and I couldn't even say a word. I just started ugly crying. At this point, I still loved my mother so so much. And hearing her say that broke me. Her boyfriend of all people hugged me, trying to calm me down, which of course only made my mother hate me more. A lot of my childhood is a blur, but this memory is burned into my mind. I still hate New Year. When I was 14, we moved again and again. At some point, my sister moved out, and now I was all alone with my mother. And from that moment on, she and trash boyfriend became my bullies. At first, it was only insults. I was called ugly, gross, fat, stupid, too dumb to do anything, a lost cause, and a whore. My mother would blame me for not being like her because I wasn't interested in drinking or parties or boys. She criticized everything about me. I tried so hard to please her. I was good at school. I was the only one of my siblings that got into a higher level of education. My teachers praised me a lot, but it all meant nothing. I was too weird for her. When I was 16, my mother started drinking with our landlord. He lived in the same house, so we saw him all the time. You lived in this, your landlord lived with you? Our landlord, 60 at this point, constantly made sexual comments about me. And when they got drunk together, he would come into my room at night and touch me. When I complained to my mother, she told me that it's his house, so he could go wherever he wants, and I need to stop being so sensitive. Wow. She wants 11 children. That was the moment I realized that I mean nothing to this woman. We had a similar situation with one of my brothers when I was 12, but I was too young to understand, but now I did. I really mean nothing to her. Even when her boyfriend made a joke about how he wants to bash my head in with a hammer, I was told to stop being sensitive. Oh man, I can't even believe what I'm reading. The next 3 years were even worse. My mother became an alcoholic. I thought she already was. Maybe she became even more of a drunkard and got more and more aggressive. She and her trash boyfriend started stealing my things, breaking stuff, even taking money from me. They would put their dirty dishes in my bed because I should have cleaned them, so they needed to teach me a lesson. My worth was completely dependent on how much housework I did. I helped a lot at first, but it was never enough, and they would always tell me how I'm doing everything wrong. I'm just too stupid, so I just refused to do chores, which they used as justification for their abuse. Another big issue was that my mother's boyfriend paid for the kitchen in our flat, which meant I wasn't allowed in there. I didn't get any food. I survived by begging my friends for food and money. What? They didn't even feed you? Jeez, I'm speechless. I went to job school quite far away, and every day I sat in class scared about what I would find when I come home. They took away my furniture. They turned off the heating in the winter. Oh my gosh. They took away my light bulb. Towards the end, I was left with a moldy mattress in a dark, cold room. No food, no water, no clean clothes. I wasn't even allowed in the bathroom anymore. It was humiliating. You are in prison. That's what this is. You are in prison. But the part that hurt me the most is that they killed my cat. She was black and her name was Maxie. She was my best friend. She had always been with me since I was a baby. She was 19. Yes, she was old and a bit weak. She was starting to go blind, but she was still healthy and happy. But to my mother, she was a burden, so she killed her. To this day, I still see her in the corner of my eye sometimes. Oh wow, that's truly evil. I mean, everything they've been doing to you is just evil. It is. All of it. But that is, I mean, I can't even believe it. I'm so sad for you. I'm so sad for your poor kitty. When I turned 19, I was kicked out. I'd been sleeping at a friend's place for a while, and she wrote me an SMS with the words,
"Don't tell Mama it's closed now."
I know she was trying to have power over me by doing that. I had barely been home in days, and she hated that. The next day I went there with friends, got all my stuff, and then threw my keys into the hallway. The whole time she was watching in disbelief. It felt good. You definitely handle yourself better. I would have probably lost my mind. I don't even know what I would have done to her if, yeah, you've got a lot of self-control. She tried to get me to come back multiple times, but I did not let her manipulate me anymore. I blocked her, and almost immediately I was confronted by my siblings with death threats and insults. What? They blamed me for everything, telling me I deserved how my mother treated me because I didn't do chores. You deserve to have your poor little kitty taken out of this world? You deserve that? Your siblings said that to you? Do you deserve not to ever get fed? To be freezing to death during the winter? Why would they be like that? Why? To this day, I don't understand why they reacted this way. Huh. Well, yeah, me too. They had witnessed her abuse firsthand. They cried to me about how cruel she is, and they knew that I was treated even worse than them. And yet, when I needed them the most, they took her side. It's 10 years later now, and I would love to say that my life has been good since I left them behind, but it has not. I'm a complete mess. I keep getting myself into toxic relationships. I'm anxious and scared all the time. For some years, I even refused to leave the house. I have nightmares every night, and I never really feel safe. I'm unable to form proper relationships because closeness scares me. I'm a people pleaser, a complete doormat. I'm so awkward. I disassociate all the time and quite honestly don't feel human or real. I feel like a child and I behave like one. It feels like no one can really understand me. I understand you feeling that way. I really do. Trust me when I say there are definitely those of us that 100% understand. Last year, I went to therapy for the first time. I got diagnosed with CPTSD, and I'm slowly learning how to be kind to myself, but it's hard. It's hard to unlearn something I was made to believe since birth. Despite everything, I'm a very hopeful person. I truly believe things can be better for me and for everyone else who suffered. We're not defined by what others did to us. You're absolutely right. Thank you for reading all of this. Thank you for giving people like me a chance to tell our story in a safe way. I wish you nothing but happiness and peace. Well, thank you. That is very kind. And you're welcome. I'm happy to provide somewhere for all of us to come and share our experiences. And unfortunately, there is a lot of us. But at the same time, that makes it where we have more people, not just to share our stories with, but somebody who might have a story very similar to yours, an experience that you grew up and you're listening and you're going, oh my gosh, that's me. Well, and this person is getting better or they're doing good. And you know what? I can too. I can't walk away from the story without saying, again, I'm so sorry about what happened to your cat. That might be one of the cruelest things I've read on here. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way because the stuff that was done to us is cruel, but I don't know. You know, do whatever you want to me, but don't hurt my cat. Please don't hurt my little animals. Like that is wicked. I'm glad that your mindset is to where it needs to be, that things can get better. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We all love you. Take care of yourself, okay? I'm a 26-year-old woman working full-time and currently living with my parents. Having been born and raised in a Christian household with my conservative father being more religious than my more left-leaning mother. I'm the only daughter out of 3 in the family. Growing up, my father followed the particular biblical quote of spare the rod, spoil the child, one that I was very familiar with growing up as well, by the use of spanking via a wooden spoon or hand if we did something bad. If we talked back at him or disrespected him, he would use the belt. He would also scream and yell at me and my brothers as well. If I cried and couldn't tell him why, he would threaten to spank me, telling me,
I'll give you something to cry about.
oh, I'm sure many of us have heard that one more than once. He stopped spanking us as we got older, though I still feel my heart sink whenever I hear him yell or argue over something, regardless if it is directed at me or not. There's a loud truck outside right now that's just hanging out. I'm sorry. Might be a little bit of background noise for the next couple minutes. The worst thing he has done to me, though, was take my phone when I was 17 for thinking I was hiding something. When I was only startled by him suddenly coming into my room while texting my online friend involving original character stuff. He saw the messages, assumed I was hiding a relationship with a boyfriend. I was single, and proceeded to go through all of my phone's contents with not just himself, but with my mom and my brothers, seeing what's in my phone too. All the gallery photos, my social media, whatever he could find to see what else I'm hiding. What? No. I remember sitting at the nearby room, sobbing my eyes out at the dining table while they invaded my privacy on the couch. It made me very protective of my phone when I eventually got it back, and took me years to loosen up a bit on it. Yeah, I don't blame you. Oh yeah, he is also weird and protective of me when it comes to me dating. He never allowed me to date during high school, which is fine. I didn't really have any interest then. However, when I started dating with a good online friend during college, I told my family about it after some time. They took it well at first, but problems later started showing. My father would talk to me behind my boyfriend's back, telling me how he doesn't like him, that he got a certain shot that some people have a problem with, if you know what I'm saying. My father also straight told me that
He isn't a Christian, so if he comes to me for my approval in the marriage, I'm not giving him that.
Note that me and my boyfriend weren't initially planning on marriage anyways until we both were more collected in other areas of our life. It got so bad that I had to pretend to break up with my boyfriend when my dad pressured me to break up right before my boyfriend's birthday. Why is your father so worried about your relationship with your boyfriend? And even after that, my father tried to convince me that my boyfriend was cheating on me because he didn't immediately come to see me when he and his family moved closer to where I lived. I genuinely don't know what to do. I love my boyfriend very much and hope to move in with him sometime in the future and away from the house. I just worry that once I leave and the truth comes out, what truth? Oh, because you had to pretend to break up with him, but you're not. Okay, I see. I just worry that once I leave and the truth comes out, things will get messy between me and my family. I do care for them, my mom, my brothers, and my dad. Despite what my dad has done to me, I still care about him and know that he cares about me too. But I can't bring myself to love him as a father. I feel like I'm suffocating when I'm with him. I can't bring myself to speak up my disagreement or risk getting yelled at or strong-armed to agree with him. I don't know at this point if I should just leave and cut contact or try to work things out with him via setting boundaries. Please help me out here. Okay, Coven, go ahead down below. Let's help our friend here. She wants some advice. So go ahead and share below what you think she should do. And then I will go ahead and also tell you what I think I would do in your situation. You are a 26-year-old woman in college, or maybe you've graduated. I don't know. You get to decide who you date and who you're with. That is totally your business and nobody else's. If you don't want to cut your family out of your life because you said that you care about them, then you need to tell your dad, look, I am with so-and-so. I want to be with this person, and that's not going to change. You either accept it or you don't. Because to be perfectly honest, his feelings, they don't matter. Yours do. I would say maybe start with some boundaries first. Kind of like me and my mom, I gray rock. I haven't gone no contact, but I do kind of keep her arm's length. Anytime she wants to talk, it's always her talking to me, and I just give her the bare minimum of what's going on in my life. Or you could set out your own specific boundaries that you have. Like, look, Dad, when he's here, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. When you're at our house, you can't do this. But you know what? You get to decide what those boundaries are, and you can set them. If your dad doesn't honor the boundaries and the stuff that you want, then I would think about maybe going no contact. It isn't black and white. It is something that you're gonna have to kind of just fill out on your own and figure out as you go. It took me a long time to realize, because I was very emotionally stunted too, because my mom was such a hardcore narcissist. I was kind of brainwashed into the religion ideology that she had, that I thought that she was right. She's my mom. She knows everything, right? I didn't know better. That's the thing. I didn't know better. And I wish I would have had somebody that said, hey, listen, your mom is just a person. She is not a god. And if you hurt her feelings, she'll get over it. I wish I had somebody that would have told me that. Because once you are on your own, that it is your choice to do the things that you want. Whether you get married, whether you have children, how you live, who you date, what you do in your free time doesn't have anything to do with your parents. You are your own person. So that is the advice that I would give you as somebody that has been there with a very overbearing religious mother. If he can't respect it, and if he's going to treat your boyfriend like crap, then I would think about maybe cutting him off significantly before going no contact. And then if it's just outright not working, then I would go no contact. That is my advice, but please also check out what people have to say down below. We have a really great community here. Everybody has, their thoughts and their ideas and the way that they feel about things. And we celebrate, diversity and having different opinions here. So just check out what other people say. And then the last thing I will say to you is just follow your heart. It sounds cheesy, but follow your heart. Thank you so much for submitting your story, guys. You are very brave, and you also help other people that might not want to share their things publicly. Give them a little bit of advice too, and some hope. There's really not much more we could really ask for, right? Than helping other people heal some past wounds. I will see you guys next time. Please take care of yourselves. I love you guys so much.